Mr. Shaman and I, we are out on an adventure. He was so excited to get in the car this morning. Are you having fun? Okay, more awarenesses. Mr. Shaman and I, we came out to a park where I knew there would be water that he could play in, and tracking my feelings, what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, what I'm wanting to feel, all of these things. I think I was talking about this yesterday, so probably put this all in one vlog. Anyway, so, all of these awarenesses, I'm thinking about Rory and her general attitude on life and how she makes her videos and how she shows up. Check out her social media. You can see the way that she talks about things that are important to her. And okay, but what I noticed is my tendency to want to shut out the world. Now, if this is also you, if that resonates for you, where and I'm like, is this too intimate? Is this too vulnerable to be sharing? Is this too personal? All the things that I've been catching and tracking and noticing about myself. And, when it comes to self-awareness and expanding your bandwidth, your ability to feel emotions and to think different thoughts and to change your whole world, it comes down to how much of yourself can you hold? How aware are you of yourself and the world around you? So what I caught, you know what, I'm just gonna flow with this. The be part of the vulnerability here, and you can share in kind how this resonates for you, or maybe this is something that you're going through as well, where and I think specifically this really it probably applies in more ways, but specifically with law of attraction, where you're like, and this is a huge topic that I want to be talking about, is how some emotions are good and some emotions are bad, and what thoughts are good and what thoughts are bad. And when you have that mentality, you're wanting to skip around and not actually meet yourself where you are. So that's another aspect of what's so profound and important about self-awareness. So I'm out here and noticing myself wanting to have this phenomenal experience, and then I was all like, maybe it's okay to just have a peaceful experience. And I was like, oh no, what if I don't have a good video idea? And I'm like, well, maybe it's, just one of those days where you just take pictures of your dog and feel happy and then send it to your friends. And maybe that's good enough. But I love this part of me. That wants to be ultra performer, ultra performance. Optimize. But coming back to this other idea here, where this tendency, and how I really see this as really aligned with all the law of attraction stuff, where you want to cut out the bits that you don't want to see. And maybe you can crop things. And back to how Rory inspires me, and has kind of, like, just through her example, I've been seeing more of how I will avoid things, not out of like a malicious place, but in this striving to feel like life is exactly the way that I want it. The whole control aspect, where Rory, this is an observation, this is just something that I've observed, is she will not overly call attention to what's happening around her, but in her sharing verbally her awareness of what she is aware of, maybe that's a plane in the air or a storm outside, just what's happening around her, and that extends out into people as well. So like where Mr. Shaman and I, this most perfect spot for us today out in the park for adventuring, I actually found myself feeling really worried. Readjust myself. Got a blanket here, and I got a bag of books and things to just have a personal moment with myself. Anyway, so we're sitting here, and I'm like, and it's finding myself fighting, and I really didn't catch this at first, and so this is another reason why I want to share this, and like this, like as part of the coaching process. So if I can make these awarenesses and share them with you, maybe you can start finding awarenesses of yourself and how you naturally act and respond and and where you're going, and have greater clarity on what it is that you want and the ways that you go about, the strategies that you pick to get those needs and wants fulfilled. Anyway, so we're where we picked, I'm like, oh well, what if somebody says you can't be here? I don't like confrontation. I don't like confrontation. And sometimes I don't even want to talk to people. I'm like, I'm just in I was really just hoping to have a private moment, but this is a public park. And like this shutting down the opportunities to want to connect with others, where I'm like, the Rory on my shoulder is all like, not telling me what I should do, I'm just feeling what I have observed and what I believe that she would do, and just feeling that radiance of love. And even if and again, this is my observation, this is my personal thoughts of my my little guardian angel Rory on my shoulder. I think if you're part of the siren world, part of the siren universe, you probably have a little Rory on your shoulder too. Your little fairy godmother, magical feminine energy genius who's all like offering just this vibration of love and world change, healing, all the stuff. And for a moment there, I'm like in this situation that I really don't want to have happen, and yet is a reflection of connection and, human connection, strangers meeting strangers and possibly having a nice moment. How would I respond differently? And I couldn't quite get the words out for myself, and I'm okay with that. If you can shift your vibe even a tiny little bit, allow, soften, open, expand, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised at how love finds you. And at this point, no one has said anything to me, and I am very much okay with that. But, interesting, lovely moments. Apparently, he thought I brought that for him, and he's not wrong. Oh, but that's where I was sitting. Feels so good just to be barefoot outside. Did you find a stick? pretty good stick. Okay, while we were playing around, a thought hit me. You know, Natalina, let's connect this back to something relevant with men and dating. So, only seeing what it is that we want to see, trying to, you know, just the best parts version, where some of us really get in trouble with that, where we don't really see the man that we are dating. We don't really see the person in front of us. We don't see the man in front of us. And then, you know, it's still disappointing, but also shocking and disturbing when it's all like, why isn't this, you know, in the best of moments? Really, that was the full point there. Are you seeing the person? Are you available? Do you have, and just kind of one of those awareness things that's going to matter in all of your human relationships, and much bigger and broader than that. But, you know, I wanted to have at least one tie-in to, you know, our romantic lives and our striving to be, you know, intentionally attract exactly the perfect world for ourselves. Do we miss what's right in front of us? This is not to be a get disappointed about life. It's just one of those things. So, I know how that resonates for you. If you are someone who has had a lot of trouble with men and dating and feeling heard and keeping close relationships, then this actually might be pretty relevant. Again, not to be a doomsdayist. It's just one of those things that, as we're expanding our ability to see and feel and hear and all of the things, magical things can happen in our world. I want to go to get pancakes now. Not necessarily because of pancakes, but like, isn't like pancakes what you do like on Saturday? Not everyone, but I feel like Mr. Shaman and I's adventure isn't quite over, and I'm like, well, where else can we go? Where else can we go? And I don't know, actually, I think there is a place that might let us hang out on the patio and have an adventurer's breakfast. I think he might be up for that. But I have to get my inner boy on board for possibly having a conversation I don't want to have. Can my dog stay here? We'll see. Okay, so I was brave and I called the restaurant, and they are dog friendly. They are. So I think they're only open, and I'm like, I'm not quite ready to leave, but these are the logistics of living your best life. So we'll see. Maybe Mr. Shaman and I will have waffles. We'll see. How is your beautiful life unfolding? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about all of the things. I know I certainly have and will. So what's good? What are you working on? Okay, well, we made it to the parking lot. This is so wild. You know, how often I'll find myself having second thoughts about, well, do I really want to do this? Is this really what I want to do? But I never do things. So, note for all of us, when you start doing things, new things, any new things, it's gonna feel different. And I'm like, if I hadn't promised my buddy coaches and my coaches that I would more things for myself, get out, experiment, expand, explore, then, well, this will be a fun little vlog, and I hope everyone gets something from these weekend adventures. Well, we did it. We had Saturday brunch. Wow. My debriefing notes. I've got debriefing notes on when things don't feel the way that you want them to feel, and when you're making space for new experiences and new things to happen. And actually, I think this would be a really good place to also talk about circular dating. And well, with this handsome man as a date, there were a lot of people who were trying to talk to me successfully. Probably were disappointed at how not enthusiastic I was. You know, there was a lot of people who wanted to talk to, if not me, him. When we first got there, actually, there was a 12-week-old golden retriever baby, and Mr. Shaman was just so enamored. And they're like, well, is he friendly? And I'm like, he's a lot more friendly than I am. And this guy at the bar, he started laughing. I mean, like, not like, you know, it wasn't a belly laugh, but it was like one of those, you know, you could tell that he was listening into the conversation, because I was like, he's a lot more friendly than I am. So anyway, wow, you know, it would be wonderful to feel wonderful in the moment, but it's also wonderful to be able to reflect and go, wow, even though this may not have felt the way that I was hoping it would feel, I'm really proud of myself. No, I'm really proud of myself. But yes, perhaps we'll have more debriefing here, because there's lots more with like circular dating and the whole concept of when you're circular dating as a married woman, you're circular dating and you're in a relationship. It's not about, you know, trying to bag a bunch of guys. It's about your receptivity. It's about your availability for life and connection and all of the things. So there's lots to talk about, but exciting weekend adventures.